Is open source AI actually open? Hi, this is Samir Khan from Solve with AI. There's a lot of buzz in the media that I read every day. Every week you're going to get a headline like Meta is going open source with Llama. Google is going open source with Gemini. This sounds all great, but the more you start to peel onion, the more you realize that what you're getting is not what you are expecting. All of the model shards, the custom tensor core optimizations, you're not getting any of that. So why it's called open source? Well, first off, when I think about open source, I think about Linux, right? So you get full freedom for code, data, customization. But that's not what's happening here. Take Llama 3. It's a great model. You can download it, you can play with it. But the moment you start to use for commercial purposes, the licensing is going to bite you back. You are getting a frozen graph. The customized graph, the plugin hooks, the data prep pipeline, they're all staying behind the closed door. You're not getting any of that. Gemini, same story. You might get the model weights, but when you think about the infrastructure, the plugin, and the data pipeline, they're all going to be locked in from a vendor perspective. So let's say if you negotiate and you get some of these weights, you are able to get that from a contract perspective. But a lot of companies, they don't realize that running a 20 billion parameter model is not like a point click install like any other SaaS application that you have used in the past. Majority of the organization, in my view, they don't have the infrastructure. They end up throwing the model into a proprietary cloud. So yeah, it feels open, but then you have your deployment stack, your scaling books, your monitoring dashboards, they're all behind the closed door of that proprietary cloud. So you can download the latest model, but the question is, can you really deploy it, scale it, and update it to match the real world business needs? In my point, that's a completely different story. So then you might ask, okay, Samir, then why are they calling this open? Well, for the big technology companies, it's a very good marketing tactic. So they can latch onto the PR, get all the right buzz, they can generate a community following, but then they can keep the training data, latest optimizations, and the platform itself for themselves. And they can only release a bit of it. So basically you're getting like a shiny toy, but the key features that are going to be living on GitHub Enterprise, it's not going to be living on your servers or your laptops. So if you're a operations leader, a SaaS leader, a company owner, think about these things. So first is, can you use this model in the business without running into licensing issues? Second, do you control the infrastructure and the data, or you're at the mercy of the vendor? And the next is, whenever a new upgrade comes in, do you get access to that, or you're stuck with the community edition? Because in my view, the real world is not about the demo. It's about CI/CD pipelines. It's about automated benchmark suites. It's about live latencies and service layer agreements. And I can give you many examples. One example that comes to my mind was a startup that was trying to create a compliance tool based on the Llama model, and everything looked good in the beginning. But the moment they try to onboard their first enterprise client, they hit the wall. The licensing agreement forbade them to using the model in a hosted SaaS environment. So they quickly learned the lesson. Just because it's labeled open, it doesn't mean that it's production ready or even business ready. So what do we do instead? So here's what I think. I'm going to leave you with 3 things to think about. Like, first is read the fine print and make sure that you're not going to have any impact from a model licensing perspective, especially when you're looking at from an exporting. So if you're exporting the model, check for export restrictions. Benchmark the memory footprint, the throughput, the mixed precision performance on your own hardware. Don't rely on the vendor specs. And ask the vendor, like, what's really open? The model, the data, the pipeline, the update cycle, what is open? Tell me, be honest. And more importantly, pick what actually runs on your stack, not what the headline is promoting. So that's my take on it. I would ask you, when you deployed an open model, have you run into any challenges, any of these things that we just talked about from a licensing perspective? Drop your comment below. I would love to hear and have a conversation and dialogue on it. And again, if you want to get more honest and real life application of AI without all the fluff and the hype, you can always subscribe to my newsletter. which is solvewithai.substack.com, where I share the actual frameworks, real world business use cases, and how you can use AI and scale with that in your organization. Stay curious. Until next time.